Hello. My name is Hannah. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you're watching this video, you have probably been a member or been a part of the evangelical community before, or wider Christian community, and maybe are thinking of leaving or have already left, or like me, were kicked out. And you would know, likely, that healing after the evangelical church can be a bit of a bumpy ride. It's deeply personal, deeply transformational, and sometimes we need healing tools to assist us in that transformative journey. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you are new to my channel, don't let the name scare you. I know a lot of us have religious trauma, and the word witch can feel really scary. That's what we were told was evil and demonic. That's what we were told to stay away from people with crazy colored hair who talked about tarot cards. And part of deconstruction is learning, what was I told? Where does it actually come from? Why was I told that? And how do I let go of that now that I know it's usually rooted in politics, cultural or social norms, or just plain fear? It's not actually rooted in fact. But that is your journey. If you need tools on that, you let me know. I've got tons of resources here on my channel, but also I'm going to link, there's a podcast playlist that I've created of Exvangelical resources. So it is helpful podcasts, some from my own podcast, some from other podcasts, on specific topics that I find really, really helpful for people to begin this journey or dive deeper on this journey. So what if I told you the very thing that was demonized is the very thing that can help you the most with your healing journey? This can be such a potent ally for us in our transformation from Christian to not Christian. Often seen as spiritually taboo, the tarot is actually a tool, and it can be a tool used psychologically, similar to, I often teach it as like a Rorschach test. If you know that the ink blot test that was used psychologically for so long, like, what do you see on this? My mother, oh, it's all my mother, right? Like, they're just ink blots and everyone sees something different. The tarot can be used that way, and in fact many psychologists do use it that way. I say many, it's not that popular. There are psychologists out there who use it as a psychological tool without the spiritual meaning behind it at all. So it's not just a fortune-telling gimmick. It's not just about telling the future. It can be about diving deep into ourselves as well and seeing things that we didn't know were there. Now, when I was in the evangelical church, we grew up in a mega church, a Pentecostal mega church in Victoria, Australia. And in that church, we used to be taught to do something called Bibliomancy. Now, they didn't call it that because that would be evil, but Bibliomancy is basically a divinatory form, so a form of divination connecting with the divine or with information that you have not otherwise accessible. And it's the type where you flip open your Bible and you point to the message you're supposed to hear. And the concept is God will guide you to this passage. So that is actually a term called Bibliomancy. You can do it with any book. Cartomancy is divination with cards, and it's kind of the same, right? It is the same concept of you flip open to whatever you're supposed to be hearing right now, and you take meaning from that. So I'm going to give you a little history lesson on my journey with the tarot, because you might relate. Now, quite a few years back now, I started feeling drawn to the tarot and hearing whispers of maybe I should buy a tarot deck. But every time I heard that, thought that, I was like, absolutely not. A demon will jump out at me. That was my literal belief, that I would open up a portal. I'm sure you've heard that before. Open up a portal to hell or demonic influence. So it took me 2 years. 2 years to work up the courage. 2 years of thinking about it, reading about it, exploring it, not going near it, walking into a shop and looking at them but not touching them, walking into a shop and maybe picking it up. Maybe I buy one for someone else. Maybe I do, like, everything but. And then one day I walked into a shop and I said, stuff it. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy it and see what happens. I'm going to figure it out for myself if everything they told me was true or not. And I actually bought, I don't have the deck with me right here because it's in my bedroom. I use it for my daily tarot draw, but I walked out with something called the Shadowscapes Tarot, and I'll put a picture up here because it's really beautiful. And I remember going up to the lady at the counter and being like, can I buy this please? And a big doe-eyed fear. And she was like, yep, that's $35. What do you mean it's just 35? What do you mean? You should be congratulating me. Do you not understand how hard it is for me to be here doing this right now? That was my internal monologue. In person, I was just like, yep, here you go, thank you, bye. And I just walked out. And I got home and I knew nothing. Like, I thought I had sort of explored a little bit and knew something about it, but I really didn't. I knew nothing. I just ripped it open and jumped straight in. And the first thing I did was just go through the cards and look at them. I didn't really care about what they meant. I was just looking at the artwork. I'm a creative. I'm an artist myself. And I was like, oh, these are so pretty. This is so fun. And it felt really, really exciting. And at the same time, I was sort of on the lookout for like, is the demon going to jump out? Even though I'd been out of the church at that point for like almost 10 years, right? It had been a long time since I'd been in the church. I'd had one tarot reading once from a lady in New Orleans, and it was very accurate, but it was also like low-key terrifying, and that was a few years prior. But I had this deck, and so I thought I'll just do a reading for myself. I can't even remember what I did. I would have just pulled a card, asked a question, and then figured it out from there. And guess what? Nothing happened. No demons, no whispers, nothing negative. In fact, I found it clicked. It clicked in my brain, and I was like, oh, this is kind of easy. Now, it's not easy for everyone. It's not the perfect divination tool for everybody, but for some people it is. There's many different types of divination you can go to. But for me, this was such a crucial moment for deconstructing that fear that demons just pop out of everywhere, because they didn't. I have now used this for about a decade. Where are the demons? There are no demons, right? And through my diving into further things about the occult and really learning and exploring a lot of this stuff, there are occultists out there who have tried summoning demons for 20 years with insane rituals and still haven't managed it. We were taught a lie. We were taught that demons were around every corner, and they are not. They are absolutely not. So this was a crucial thing. Just buying, picking up and using it was me confronting this deeply held fear that actually stopped me from doing so many things in my life. And just picking up a tarot deck helped heal me of that. Now what I can do as well is, because I do teach a lot of deconstruction content, so how to heal from religious trauma, how to deconstruct from it, I can sometimes use this like, you know what area, one's just popped out, what area am I getting stuck on in terms of my healing journey, right? And maybe I get the 8 of Wands, and this is about power, progress, and movement forward. So maybe I'm trying to speed through it and I need to slow down a little bit. Maybe it's about sitting with what I've learnt rather than what's the next thing to heal, what's the next thing to heal. Let's do another example, right? Let's say you're out of the church and you have still got a fear about, let's say, the rapture. That was a big one for me for a long time. So maybe what's underlying that fear? Okay, what can I do about it? Little 2-card spread. So what's underlying that fear? Let's say it's the Page of Wands, right? It could be any card. This is just an example. We can see he's standing alone in a desert, right? It looks pretty hot. Perhaps it is just that being left behind, being left alone, not having the skills necessary to go where and do what you need to do, right? Not having anyone to guide you, having to be your own guide. And what can we do about this fear? Oh, Page of Swords. We've got 2 pages. Isn't that interesting? Arm yourself with knowledge. The Page of Swords is all about knowing everything, whereas this one's kind of about doing everything. So arming yourself with knowledge is a really great one. But also treating it as if you're a student. Pages are students. They're not totally skilled. They are not the master of their craft yet. They're still learning. If this is you, I do have a class specifically on healing from the Rapture Doctrine. It is a 5-part class. You get a new video every day. You can take your time with it, go as slow as you need to, but it goes into where that doctrine actually comes from, what Revelation is actually saying, because it's not what we were taught in the church a lot of the time, and what everyone that says, oh, it's in the Bible, the rapture is not in the Bible, what everyone refers to, why they refer to that being about the rapture when it's not, and what it actually means. So there is a lot in there. There's a lot of resources, but it is very, very, very helpful. I've had quite a few people go through it and they've come back saying, I didn't even think I feared it that much, but this made me feel so much better. So definitely check that one out. It is currently on sale at 50% off. So it is an absolute steal. It's $25 and you get this amazing class access. So basically what I have found with the tarot is that it has been a crucial tool for introspection on my journey. It's also been a way for me to rewrite my story after leaving the faith of my childhood. It's given me my power back in all of this. And it has opened up such a wondrous new perspective for me. I've seen the healing power that this has on other people, my clients, my friends, my family. And I haven't seen any negative effects from it, which is what I was taught would happen. Sometimes I think we need to experience the things that they demonized in order to release some of that fear as well. So I hope this video has helped you to maybe consider a new tool for healing on your exvangelical journey. The tarot is one. There are many. If you have any questions, any specific fears, or anything that you want to chat with me about, please leave me a comment below. I love hearing from you guys, and I love knowing what you're wanting from me in terms of these sorts of topics as well. And please, if you know someone who will get a lot out of this video, send it across to them. That would be wonderful. I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world today, and I will chat with you next time.